What's up, guys? It's your boy Rich. So let's go check out the Milus Snow Star. It was a watch from World War II, and it might have just helped save the lives of some US Navy pilots. Let's go.
And it's in 39 millimeters, 47.7 from lug to lug, a very slim 9.45 millimeters tall, and it uses a 20 millimeter strap width. So there's a lot to talk about the Snow Star, even though at first glance it might appear as a simple three-hander, but there is so much more than that. Starting with it being a Swiss-made watch, Milus is based out of Biel, Switzerland. It uses the 904L steel, which is what Rolex used to use before they came up with their Oyster steel, which is still within that 904L steel family. While still 99.5% of the watch industry still uses the 316L steel. So you can see that very polished, that refined finishing that we get on the Snow Star. But staying with the material, the material like this steel isn't going to be the reason we buy the watch, right? There's going to be other reasons. Mainly, we are attracted to the watch. We like the way the watch looks, especially on our wrist, the way it makes us feel. And then after that, learning that our watch is made of the 904L steel, well, that becomes really an added value instead of a selling point, because we've already liked the watch, we are attracted to it, and then we're learning that it uses that really highly anti-corrosive steel, the kind of rare steel that Rolex, as being one of the rare brands that used to use that, is now being used in the Snow Star. So that gives us that really added value, a really nice feeling, almost like a Grand Seiko, though I'm not comparing this to Grand Seiko. I'm just talking about the sensation that we get of wearing a Grand Seiko, because we know it's an amazing watch, even though the rest of the world may not be as familiar with, that brand. Of course, now Grand Seiko is a powerhouse in the industry, a real powerhouse, but you get my point in what I'm trying to say about the way that it makes us feel. It also has a really rich history. Milus watches has been around since 1919, and if we're staying with history, well, the Snow Star was part of the U.S. Navy pilots during World War II. So as legend has it, each pilot was given a box with tradable items, and included in that box of tradable items was the Snow Star.
This story was hidden for over 70 years. It's a story about the value of life and what that means. In 1942, during the dark times of World War II, the value of life was reflected in a small rubber box called a life barter kit. It was given to Navy airmen to help them in the event of a crash landing or parachuting onto remote islands of the Pacific, where often they would need to have some sort of valuables in order to trade for food, information, or their very lives.
So if the pilots were forced to land in unknown territories, they had these items that they could barter for a lot of different things, including human lives. So I think that nice history, that bit of history, knowing that the Snow Star was part of that it carried that kind of value for the U.S. Navy pilots to barter for, I think is a really cool touch. It is also owned, meaning Milus Watches is owned now by the Tissot family. So it just has a really, you can just tell that it is an experienced team that put together this watch and that owns and runs this watch now. So it's a watch that's really great history. So if we get onto the watch itself, it certainly is a very attractive watch, like I said. This dial is called Ice Blue. It's also available in black and silver. And I think I read on Milus's website that the Ice Blue is, in theory, if light passes through ice, the longer that distance that the light passes through ice, the bluer it becomes. All I know is that this is just a really sharp looking blue. It's kind of like a steel blue in different lighting conditions, almost like a really rich purple as well. Just really sharp. I like those applied markers. It comes together really well. You can just tell this polished finishing is just very attractive. And it has a really cool red date. So a complete package here on a really sharp, really well made watch. So, like I think I touched on it earlier regarding the case. It's not your typical casing, meaning where the lugs slope down immediately so they don't jet past the wrist. This is slightly elongated. So if your wrists are a little bit on the larger side and you're thinking that 39 millimeter case size might be a little bit too small, these are going to extend just a little bit before the tips start to angle downward. So I think it has a great universal feel. And for everyone else where 39 millimeters is in your wheelhouse, this is going to fit really well. It's just so thin and it just fits me really, really nicely. Just a lot of things to like about this watch. There is one thing that I might point out that, it's just the case is completely in a polished finishing, including those brilliant markers. So it may not be for everyone. I like the look of this polished look a lot. It's a nice departure from a lot of the sport watches, especially the chunkier sport watches, which have brushed steels and the polished finishing. Having one that's entirely polished like this, to me, is a welcome addition. This is not, even though it's only just a slim 9.45 millimeters tall, not a true dress watch. It's a nice hybrid between a sports watch that you can wear every day, including with jeans and a tee, and then you can certainly dress it up. So I really think Milus nailed it with the Snow Star in terms of dimensions. They did a really, really great job. So it has a solid screwed down case back. It is water resistant to 100 meters. I know that some people might be wondering, well, let's have an open case back to see the movement, because this uses the top grade at a 2892 movement in terms of accuracy. I've been getting just a shade under 2 seconds a day. So a great movement with accuracy, just an overall really, really nice package here. I want to talk about the presentation right here, because you can see that it matches the gray calfskin leather strap here. It's really more of like a portable travel wallet. This is where the watch would go in the case, and then the strap right there. So a really nice portable leather traveling case, rather than the more common wooden boxes that accompany our watches. So speaking of the strap, it uses the quick release systems right here, and that's why we can put that into the slot in that case next to the watch case. The 904L steel extends beyond just a case, because it's also used on the signed buckle. So a lot of details, really nice materials, a really nice strap. It's a calfskin strap, and this line, just I'm really excited about this watch. There's just not a lot that I can complain about this. I've been adoring this watch for a really long time from afar. It just is a watch that when you get it in your hand is just a really great treat, because it's just so well done. And then knowing the materials and the family that's running it, just it kind of puts me over the top. I'm really over the moon with this watch. You can see that really great sun ray finishing on it, just really attractive. And that red date is just a really cool touch. So there are so many wonderful features here. I'm just really a big fan of this watch. The retail price of the Snow Star is approximately $1,800, and for that you are getting a Swiss-made watch, a watch that uses the rare 904L steel, as we talked about, a great movement, knowing that this is run by the Tissot family. So a watch with great history dating back to 1919, and then knowing that it was part of World War II for our U.S. Navy pilots. So this is a watch that is really easy to get behind, and for $1,800, which for a watch with rich pedigree and real history behind it. And I know that's something that a lot of us will chirp about. Well, we like to know the history about a watch. We like to have something glamorous and romantic about the watch. Well, you're getting that, and for $1,800, that I think is priced really fairly for everything that we're getting. There's just you can pay for twice this of other watches, and you're not going to get what we're getting in this, including the movement, including the steel, like I said, the finishing, the rich history. There's just really, to me, an unbeatable value when you're talking about a high-end luxury brand. So if you're into all that and all those things matter to you, then I think the Snow Star is worth a closer look.
Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you the next time. So let's go check out the Snow Star. Snow Star. And here's the Milus Snow Star. And the Milus